Jon von Tetzchner, co-founder of Opera. We make browsers and web engines.
Everything will be on the web. It's not only a matter of the cloud, actually. It's also the fact that more and more your device will be able to store and to work as a server, but a collaborative server.
Sure. And we're not saying that we should stop working with the cloud or anything like that. We just say the cloud is not the answer to all your questions.
No.
We've delivered on televisions and set-top boxes, and we delivered on photo
on the Wii, you are
on the Wii and the DS and various other devices. A lot of them, they're connecting to the cloud, and that's fine in a way. But what we see as well is it's interesting to have the devices connect between themselves. So as an example, you might have a set-top box coming into your home, and you would like to have that set-top box streamed to your different televisions. As an example, this is one example, and potentially to your mobile phone. I mean, you have a subscription of a kind that allows you to do that. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to everything go central, because the cost of that is obviously higher. That you would have everything go to every single device. It's much better to have it come in once and then distribute it out. So that's one example. Another example is, I mean, a lot of people take photos with their mobile phones. Those photos never leave the phone. Because to get it to show it to someone, first you have to connect it to a computer, then you upload it to a site, and then you tell your friends. Now, if your phone instead has a web address so you can log into it, you can just send a simple message to your friends, see my new photos on my phone.
How important are open standards in today's world, in today's innovation?
Extremely important. Because if you don't have standards, things stop.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Microsoft and I mean what was happening with IE. I mean, things stop. When you have open standards, you can have multiple implementations of the same standards. If things are locked into someone, then innovation has a tendency to stop.
Yeah. Because you are a Norwegian company, European company. Europe struggles with all that mindset of open standards. We just look at the mobile industry, for instance. 10 years ago, the big players were European. Today, they are American, and they are all working on an open platform and letting developers comes in. There is Opera, of course, but how can Europe handle this issue today? Would you say? How do you look at that?
Well, in some ways, I'd like to think global overall, and I think actually the idea of open standards is really important. I think you're underestimating maybe some of this. I mean, for example, on the mobile side, you had big European companies engaging in the standardization on GSM. The important thing is the agreement on the standards has been extremely important for getting mobile out there. Then you have significant competition on the quality of the phones, but they're interoperable. That's really the important thing.
Have we lost the momentum, would you say?
No.
Why?
I think there's a lot of innovation coming from Europe. I mean, okay, we are one company that is doing this. Skype is another company that is...
yes, not American. No, it is American now.
Well, it's bought by an American company, but the guys that came up with this, I can tell you, Nicholas is not American. There's a lot of very smart people in Europe. There's a lot of smart people worldwide. And I mean, at Opera, by the way, we have 55 nationalities.
You are 700 people.
More than 700 people, and we have 55 nationalities. And I believe, I mean, I'm born in Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
And my thinking has always been that every person comes from a small place, right? And so that includes, if you're coming from a big city, you're coming from part of the city. If you're coming from part of the city, maybe you're coming from a certain street. So you can always identify with being from a smaller place. You may not identify yourself with coming from, say, New York. You'll say you're coming from Brooklyn, or you're coming from a certain part of Brooklyn. And I think this is, from that perspective, I mean, there's no particular reason why people should have to be in a certain place or come from a certain place to be able to be successful.
We spoke a lot about emerging countries. That's where the economy is building up today, you would say, the new application, the new services?
Well, I'm just looking at the fact that 24% of the world is on the internet. of that. I mean, in Europe, 50% of Europeans are already online. Actually, it's a lower number than most people would think. In the US, it's 75%. There's a lot of people that are not in Africa. It's like 6%. In Asia, it's 17%. There's a lot of people that are not online. These people will be coming online in the years to come. A lot of those people actually they have not necessarily had access to other things that we're used to. So I think this can be a very profound change that we'll be seeing. The internet has been a very profound change. And it's going to be an even more profound change for the people that are getting online now, because those people may be, for example, they're not used to computers. They go on the internet with a mobile phone. They're not used to potentially payment systems. I mean, whether it's credit cards or just even having bank accounts. So you'll have people getting online. And you're seeing this. You're driving in India, and your cab driver, who's not making a lot of money, has a mobile phone and is accessing it, and now he's starting to get online.
Kenya and
yes,
countries like that.
this will change the world as we know it, and I believe overall that this is extremely positive. Access to information, access to knowledge, access to trade can help build societies, and so I think this is a very important change for the world.